What's up, guys? My name is Mike Puma, and I am the CEO of Next Level Labs, and we are the creators of Empower AI, a real estate platform designed to simplify AI and give you, as agents and brokers, superpowers. How do we do that? We really leverage AI and give you the ability to leverage AI without having to actually understand or even know AI. You don't need to be a prompt engineer. You don't need to do anything other than have a name and an email, and we will take care of the rest. So, from our AI tools to our training to our coaching, all of that is available in one easy to use platform. And we're going to deep dive in that platform today with a full rundown of everything included. So once you sign into your account, you are going to be brought into our agent portal. And inside our agent portal, we have very simply broke everything down into hubs. So we have our AI hub, marketing hub, prospecting hub, a training hub, a services hub, a networking hub, so you can actually talk to other agents and with each other and get help. We've got our gear hub, which just says merchandise, and then we've got our profile where you can manage everything. So let's dive into each of these sections one by one. And if you want to just jump ahead specifically to the AI tools, on our website, down under the AI Hub section on that homepage, you're going to see a link to each one of these tools. And so if that's all you're looking for and you just want to see how specific tools work, feel free to go there. Much shorter videos on just each tool if that's all you care about. But in this video, we're going to take a deep dive through everything in this portal. So yes, it is longer, but if you want a full demo, that's exactly what you're going to get right here. So if we dive into our AI Hub, our first tool here is our Idea Hub. This is what we have created to make generating content easy. We understand you guys as real estate agents and as brokers, you are not necessarily marketers, right? We hear it all the time. I didn't go to school for marketing. I got into this to sell homes, not to create content. So we've made the content creation part of this super easy. So here's how the Idea Hub works. If you have your own idea, you can type or even speak it, especially on mobile. That's super helpful. You can speak any idea that you want to create a post about right here. If you don't have an idea, no problem. We're giving you hundreds of ideas right here. So I can pick any of these topics that I want. For this example, we'll just do the benefits of working with a real estate agent. And then I get to pick what type of content do I want. Do I want email? Do I want a social post? Do I want a blog article? Do I want a text? What type of content do I want? In this case, we'll just do a social post. And then I even get to pick my tonality, right? How do I want this post to actually be written? Do I want it to be professional? Do I want friendly, witty, right? You get to choose. So we'll just do friendly and approachable for this. And I can even change the language. Once I have that, I'm going to hit next. And because I've logged in with my account, my name and my email are going to auto-populate. And you'll see why that's important in a second. Just making it easier for you. If you want to change the email this is going to go to, or you want to adjust your name to a nickname, you can certainly do that. And then we're going to hit generate content. And in about 30 seconds, I'm going to be given a graphic and a social post in this case on the benefits of working with a real estate agent. And so just generating content super, super easy. Okay, so here's the post, right? Now, we're obviously using AI on the back end to create this image. There is still some left to be desired when it comes to image generation from AI. It's getting better all the time. But if, let's say, I don't like this image, no problem. You can always use your own image or just do a text only post. And we do give you that ability just to have access to the text if that's what you want. Now, once I have this post, I can do a few different things. And obviously, it's also going to depend on what device am I doing this on, because this is all available on mobile or desktop. So I could copy this and go paste it into social. I could download this and go use it later. Or I could email this to myself, or I can click save. And when I click save, what that's going to do is save it to my creations dashboard. And that goes for all of our tools that we have in here. You have the ability to create content, and then by the content that you or the tool you use, all of that gets saved. And so you can actually come back and reference it later if you want to. You don't have to save it, but this just gives me the ability to come back and do that later, right? So that's how that works. And again, download email, and that's how all these tools are going to work. Now, so that's to create content. Now, just something else simple is our Real Bio tool. This is just going to help you generate an agent bio. It's already going to fill in your name. You can put in whatever brokerage you're with, and then all you have to do is say how long you've been in the industry. So I'm just going to go 6 to 10 years. And again, you can say or speak your story, and you can get as specific here or kind of leave not a lot of detail, whatever you want. You can decide how detailed you want to go here. But for this example, I'm just going to say move to Florida. Got into private equity and then into real estate. Yeah, I would encourage you to get more detailed, but for this example, we're literally going to leave it at that. But you'll see how it doesn't matter. Our AI platform is designed to go more in depth, regardless of how deep you decide to go. I'll just put that I work in Florida, but you would put in whatever market or say whatever market you want to work in. And then personal interests and hobbies, again, go as crazy here as you want. I'm just going to say spending time with family. And then we're going to hit next. And from here, I'm just going to verify everything's good. This is my email. Again, I can change it if I want, but it's going to auto-populate the email associated to my account. And then I'm going to hit generate bio. And this is going to write a bio. Now, this is really important. Our bios, our listing description tool, our scripts, they are all taking into account DISC VAK. What is that? DISC is the personality types. So you have, a D personality, an I personality, an S personality, and a C personality. They all respond to different content in different ways. More importantly, especially with scripts and text, VAK, which stands for visual, auditory, or kinesthetic, matters a lot. And why does that matter? It matters because we want to make sure we're speaking the same language. And with these type of content here, with your bio, with listing descriptions, even with some of your scripts, you may not know who's on the other end, who's the receiver of this. And everybody who reads it's going to read it differently depending on whether they're a more visual person, whether they're a more auditory person, or whether they're a more kinesthetic person. Now, we do go into a lot of training on DISC and VAK in this hub, and I'll show you that here in a couple minutes. But it's important to note that all of our scripts, the way we've coded this on the back end, is everything is that's all being taken into account. So whenever it writes something for you, it's automatically going to make sure that it takes visual words into account. It takes auditory words into account. It takes kinesthetic words into account. So no matter who is reading this, they are going to connect with it in some way, right? So for example, I'll just highlight this real quick. So kinesthetic, auditory, right? Auditory means that they are people that like to listen. They want you to tell them something. So just as an example, I believe every home has a story to tell. That is right there is connecting to an auditory person, right? So you just have understand that these little subtle keywords really matter when we're communicating with somebody else. And so we don't know what they are. And so that's super important, right? But you'll see I wrote that bio. Now, again, once I have that bio, I can copy it, download it, email it to whoever I need to email it to, and then save it as well into my creations dashboard. Okay. This is just going to give you some ideas on how to use it. So that's our bio tool. All right, so our list it tool is just that. It's going to write listing descriptions for you. Again, taking into account DISC VAK, we make this super easy. You've worked really hard. You got the listing. And if you're an active listing agent, you may have a bunch of listings. Spending time trying to write beautiful listing descriptions that are going to connect with any type of reader is challenging, and it's not something that you have to do anymore, especially with this tool. So you'll fill in these basic details, and then what I find super easy is you can actually just speak the description of the home. So I'll just give you a quick example of kind of how this works. So all you have to do is click this little microphone. An open floor plan, updated kitchen, beautiful large master bathroom, new roof, new AC, beautiful new pool, and a large spacious backyard in a quiet neighborhood. So whatever you want to speak, you can go as crazy in here as you want, but just as easy as that, right? Literally just speaking features of the house, and then I'm going to hit generate listing description. And this is now going to write a beautiful listing description for me. There we go. And so in seconds, I have a really well done listing description And all I had to do was enter a few pieces of data about the property, right? So just making your life super easy. Again, copy, download, email, or save it to your creations dashboard. So that's our listed tool. Our scripted tool is just that. It's going to write scripts, customized scripts. And these are great because it's going to write a variety of different types of scripts for you, no matter what you want. So you have the option for type of script here. Am I doing a prospecting script, right? Am I hunting for business? Am I just following up? Am I just trying to network? Or do I have to have a difficult conversation? So for example, if I select difficult conversation, then I'm just going to say, all right, how am I delivering this script? Is this going to be a text message, email, phone, or is this in person? We'll say that this is going to be a phone call. And I've got to make a phone call to someone and have a difficult conversation. Well, who is that someone? We'll say in this case, it is, it is going to be what type of difficult conversation do I have to have? Is it a price reduction, listing not selling right? We have a ton of all kind of the most common difficult conversations that you have to have with clients. So we'll just say it's a price reduction request. Never a fun conversation to have, but necessary at times. And then who am I making this phone call to? And so in this place, we'll say it's a current client. And then what do I want the tone of this script to be? And this may determine based on, at this point, you probably know what personality type your client is. How do I need to approach this, right? Do I need to approach this as a more witty, kind of playful type, or do I need to be more authoritative if I've got a high D personality? But we'll go friendly and approachable in this example. I can give any more details here, but that's optional. And then make sure that my email and everything is right, and it is, and then I'm going to hit generate script. And so now this is going to write a script, again, taking into account DISC, VAK, and it's going to write this difficult conversation script for me and make this really easy now for me to call and have this conversation. And so it'll do anything though, from prospecting or for sale by owner or expired listing or you name it, it'll write a script for you, and whether you want it to be email, text, it will do all of it. So here we go, right? So now I have a beautiful script done, and it even scripts out what the end user might say, what my client might say back. And so it just scripts it all out for me. And now I have a script that I can practice, right, and go through before I actually make this phone call. And we have a tool that's actually going to help you practice that. And I will show you that next. But we have copy, download, email, and I can save this script. So if this is something I like this script, and now it's something I want to use in the future, I could save this exact script to my creations dashboard and come back to it. Now to practice it, that's where our role play AI comes in. Because this role play AI allows me to have real conversations and role play and have these difficult conversations, or practice my listening presentation, practice the difficult conversations, practice my prospecting, whatever I want to practice, I can do that here. So I'll just give you a really quick example.
Hi there. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. I'm running on some really powerful tech courtesy of Cerebras and LiveKit, which helps me understand and respond quickly. How can I help you today?
Yeah, I'm actually going on a listing presentation later today, and I'd like you to pretend to be the homeowner. I'm going to try and convince you to list your home with me.
That sounds like a great opportunity for you to showcase your skills. I'd be happy to play along. So, you're a real estate agent, right? What makes
Yeah.
you think you'd be a good fit to help me sell my home?
So you see the point. Obviously, I could go on, and she will take on any role that you want her to take on. So you can practice those difficult conversations. You can practice your listing presentations. You can have her pretend to be a for sale by owner, and you're going to prospect her. So you could take that script that we just did and literally practice it 50 times before you ever call your client. And we have agents that do this all the time. And the feedback has always been that it's really, really helpful, and they're really comfortable by the time they actually have to make that phone call or prospect or give that listing presentation. So another really just helpful, practical tool for you, to leverage AI with. So this next tool is called our Quick CMA tool. This is a tool that's going to allow you to kind of create a very simple but quick and easy CMA. Now, obviously, inside of Moxie and maybe any other tool you want to use, like a Cloud CMA, you can do some really elaborate CMAs, and that's awesome. There is a place for that, and we're not saying you shouldn't do that, but this tool is designed just to make it super easy and quick. So I can actually come in here, just put in any address of a property that I want to do the CMA on, and hit generate CMA. And then in 30 to 60 seconds here, I'm going to get a really useful, powerful CMA that now gives me at least some insight. And I don't even have to share this necessarily with the client. I can, and you'll see that we give you the ability to email us right to them if you want. But you have quite a few options with this. So here we go. So now I've got this CMA done, and it's going to give me 5 most reliable comparables that are active on the market. I even get the MLS IDs. So the reason that's important is because all I have to do, if I do want to do a more in-depth CMA inside of Moxie, for example, Moxie allows you to pull and create that CMA just by using MLS IDs. So I can actually just copy this, paste this into Moxie, and now I have a beautiful CMA inside of Moxie. Now, if I don't want to do that and I just need this quick and easy, no problem, I can at least get some more insight, right? So I can get the property overview of the property I put in, the comparable overview, why did these properties compare? Why were these used? How are they comparable to the property that I put in? The pricing analysis, current market conditions of the area that specifically of the address I put in, and then any key insights and recommendations. And again, I can take this and I can now email this to myself, to a client, whatever I want. I can even download it, right, and have it available, or I can save it to my dashboard. So I have a lot of options once I generate this report. So just a really quick, easy way for you to create a CMA. Now, our PropBot tool here just makes this easy. If you're on the go, let's say you're showing property and you just want to say, hey, we've looked at everything that at the last search that I did. Let me just see if there's anything else nearby or something specific for you that you want. And so you can actually say or speak this, but I'll just type it for this example. But if I'm on my phone, I can literally just say it. And so this can be a simple search for a client and say, I need 5-bedroom homes in Tampa with a pool under, let's say, $1 million. All right, good client to have. And hit analyze properties. And now this is going to run an actual search through Zillow API and make sure that what is active on Zillow that maps to what my client wants. And I can get even more specific here. If I want specific features, my client says, hey, I really want this. So this pulled in 34 verified properties, right? And it's going to tell me the percentage that match based on the features that I look for. It's going to give me the detail. I can sort these however I want. And then if I want more info, it actually gives me the Zillow link to that particular property. So I can just do a little bit of a quick dive, especially if I'm on the go, take a look at more photos, property records, etc. So just gives me a really quick, easy way to run a search without having to log into the MLS or do anything like that. All right, so our next tool that I want to show you is our Who's Who tool. So this is a tool designed to make sure, really for 2 reasons. One could be if I'm going after absentee owners or trying to find the contact information of a particular property, I can do that here. So I can just come in and put in the address. The other thing that this is going to do is, let's say I'm going on a listing presentation and I don't know who this person is. Gives me the ability from a safety perspective to learn a little bit more about them before I go. So I'm going to put in the address of either the property I'm trying to prospect or maybe the listing that I'm about to go on, or if I'm meeting a buyer at their house, right, which is rare. But if, let's say I don't know them, right? I just want to learn a little bit try and find some more information. All I have to do is put in that address, and this is going to search the property records and any publicly available records and pull them in for you in a very quick way. So now, here we go. So now I've got this information that got pulled in. Here's the homeowners, right? So this particular property, I can see that the homeowner is Courtney and Mike. So this was my house, obviously. And so now I can say, okay, well, if Courtney and Mike own this house, are there any public records on them? And so I can actually click next to the name, and this is going to pull up any public records that were found for Courtney. And so I can tell you that that is actually her phone number, so that's accurate. And I can dive as deep into Courtney as I want. I can see, background reports, potential email addresses, and so it just gives me some insight. So from a safety perspective, now I have a little bit of idea on who I'm dealing with. And, it even tells me she's 39 years old. Well, let's say I am a younger female and I'm going on an appointment and it's a guy that I don't know, right? And he says he's supposed to be 39, and then his profile shows that the photo he sent me on his ID shows it's clearly a much older guy. Whatever the case is, right? It's going to give you some safety mechanisms, as well as if I'm prospecting, now I have a phone number. And what's really cool with this tool is once I do this, I can say, okay, now I found Courtney. Let me do a quick CMA. And this is going to actually generate that CMA that I just showed you a few minutes ago. It's using that same technology. And it's going to generate a quick CMA for me to now send to Courtney and say, hey, obviously, this is a pretty high level CMA. I really don't like to get into pricing and value until I actually get a chance to come see the house, but I at least wanted to put something in your hands. And now I have something to send to her, right? So just giving you a really easy way to kind of prospect and bring value and get some insight and stay safe. Okay, so our next one is Goal Screen. So this is just a unique kind of little quirky accountability hack, right? The one thing with these tools that's tough is to actually create accountability, because we can tell you what to do, we can tell you what you need to do, but if you don't actually have that constantly coming at you, it's difficult, right? And so what we've done is realize that if the average person looks at their phone 97 times, right, a day plus, so at least 97 times a day, you're opening your phone. And so, what if we could create a way that allowed you to remind yourself to make your daily contacts 97 plus times a day? And so, all this does is it's going to allow you to say, how much money am I looking to make a month, right? I'm just going to put 10 grand. I want to make 10 grand a month. Cool. Well, this is going to do some calculations for you and say, based on the industry average of a $9,500 average commission, the fact that the average industry average is 80% appointment conversion, and that you're going to convert about 0.8% of conversations that you have to actual appointments, then that means I need 2 deals to make 10 grand a month. I need 2 appointments. And actually 2.5, but 2, and closer to 3 probably, honestly, and then 17 conversations to get to those 2 appointments. And then that means I need to contact 4 people a day, right? And so what's going to happen here is, based on those numbers, it actually gives me the ability to create and download, and especially on mobile, this is even easier, but I'll show you what this does. So this will create a custom wallpaper for you that you can now make the home screen of your phone. And now it says, have you made your 4 contacts today? Remember, you need 4 contacts daily to reach your $10,000 a month goal. So it's just a little reminder. So now every single time I look at my phone, I'm getting reminded, hey, I'm supposed to make 4 contacts today. And, I think if someone were to follow you around and tell you, or ask you 97 times in a day, have you made your contacts today? Have you made your 4 contacts? You would probably want to fight them, but you'd actually probably do it because you would be constantly reminded. And that's the idea here, right? So just something a little quirky, but a little different, just cool kind of way to make, kind of leverage AI to help you stay on track. All right, so now we're getting into AI planning and coaching tools. So our AI action plan is just that. Maybe this isn't for you, but I know a lot of our agents that we've had, and we have hundreds that actively work for our brokerage that we own inside of Florida. I hear it all the time. Hey, I'm willing to do stuff, but I don't know what to do today. This is an action plan creator that you can come in and do every day. So we start with one basic question, which is, who do you want to talk to, right? You got to talk to someone. Who do you want to talk to? So we give you some examples. If you already have an idea of who you want to talk to, and it's none of these, you can select other and put in your own topic. But we'll just say that today we're going to prospect for sale by owners. That's who I want to talk to. Great. What language do I want my report in? We'll go English. Anything else I want to add, I can do that. And then I'm going to hit generate action plan. And very quickly, this is going to give me a very prescriptive plan to go take today to go prospect for sale by owners and get some results. And so we make this very, very easy to go follow because it literally is going to tell you how many contacts to make of each type. It's going to give you the script. So here we go. So it's prospecting focus. Here's my text outreach plan. Hey, send 10, 15 text messages today. This is the text message we want you to send. Make 10 phone calls. Here's the script for that. So it's just giving you, here's your email, right? Send 10 emails out. And then as a bonus, we want you to DM 5 people. And so it's giving you kind of just a very easy to follow plan for the day. And you can obviously do this as much as you want. And same thing, copy, download, email, or save this plan for you so you can come back to it if you want. Our Real Coach AI, and I'm not going to go all the way through this because it is extensive. This is a really detailed kind of coaching tool that, from any of you that have coached with somebody, or maybe you're coaching with a manager, that's awesome. Maybe you don't have access to that and you don't want to pay for some of the real estate coaching that is available out there. It can get pretty expensive. This is an AI alternative, and it is going to customize this AI plan, and the questions that we ask are fully customized based on your answers. So this is a very personalized kind of coaching tool that you can go through and start answering questions. And at the end of it, creates a full coaching plan based on those responses, based on you, based on your personality, based on everything, the way that you answered your past business. If you're new, everything is personalized and customized to you, and now gives you a full plan on what to do and how to actually go execute. So that's what this tool is all about. Now, our business plan tool is kind of a quicker kind of highlight view of that plan, right? So rather than going through all the details and trying to customize it, we keep it a little more simple with this tool. So you just basically answer like, where am I at financially? Am I good? Do I need to make money like right now? I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. I'm good. I just kind of want to grow, right? We want to know where you're at. So let's just say I need to make money, right? I've got to make over the next 90 days, I've got to make 60 grand, right? Or I'm going to be in big trouble. I got student debt, right? I'm just going to make something up here. Whatever it is, right? And you can get as detailed here as you want. You can adjust this averages. It's set to the industry average of 9,500 and an 80% appointment conversion. So you can adjust these to whatever yours are or leave it as is. And then I'm going to hit generate business plan. And very quickly, it's going to do the math for me to say, all right, in order to generate that 60 grand over the next 90 days, we need 7 deals, which means we need 9 appointments, which means we need 113 conversations. Now, we know that the average conversation takes 7 attempts to get. So that means we actually need 791 attempts to have a conversation. That's 791 tries of calling or texting or outreach, right? So it sounds like a lot. But when we break it all down, it's only 9 attempts per day, right? We're running a business. So it kind of simplifies us down to say, oh my God, almost 800 attempts sounds like a lot, but it's really not. It's really 9 attempts. We can make 9 attempts, right? That should lead to 2 conversations, which should lead to an appointment. So if we can do that, then we will make 60 grand over the next 90 days. So this breaks it all down for you, even comes up with a prospecting schedule attempt for you. And then you can even create that accountability wallpaper by clicking this button, or I can download this entire plan, email this plan, or save this plan. So just a really easy way to kind of get a business plan, high-level business plan together. And then our last tool here is our Real Deal AI. This gives you the ability to summarize a contract. Now, this can be useful in a lot of different ways. I'll give you a quick example of kind of how this works. So all I have to do is upload a contract, or an offer, whatever you want, right? Whatever you want to analyze and create a summary of. So let me just find a simple contract that we can use here. There we go. And so what's going to happen is it's going to take these 73,000 characters of this 37-page contract, and I'm going to hit analyze contract, and it's going to summarize this. And so the advantage to this is kind of a few different things. One is if I have a client that I know is like a high D personality, they're going to go through the contract, but they don't want to. What I can do is actually do the summary when I send that offer or when I send the contract over and say, hey, I know this contract is long. I'm including a summary along with it. Here we go. And the summary for you is going to kind of pull out the key details that are in this big agreement. It's going to give you the key dates. It's going to give you the key financials. There were no addendums in this contract, but if there were, it would highlight those addendums. It's going to give you anything property specific. It's going to give you some due diligence. It's just going to give you some key things about this contract as a summary so you understand the really key things. And then if you want to go in depth, which you should, you can read every line and every word in this contract. It just is an easy way. And even if you don't want to use it for a client, sometimes it's easy for you as an agent to say, you know what, I'll go through this offer, I'll go through this contract, but let me pull out the key things just so I can compare this to see if it's even worth my time. Because if the financial side or the dates aren't going to work for my client, then I can just kind of let this go now and immediately reply back and be like, this isn't going to work without having to spend a bunch of time reviewing every single line of the contract. So just an easy way to get a quick analysis. PDF, email it, copy it to yourself. We don't allow you to save this tool. This is the only one we don't allow you to save, only because it is some sensitive financial information. So we don't want the ability to save this and keep this here and store it anywhere. This is kind of a one-time use tool. All right, so let's go into our marketing hub. So in our marketing hub, what we've done for you is we've preloaded a year's worth of content. You have a year's worth of branded social content already done for you that you can come in and use as you see fit. So all these graphics are done, and we've done it by different categories. So we have entertaining, engaging, educational content, motivational content, prospecting content, right? So all of these are all different prospecting type of content designed here for a specific use case. And so we have holiday content, and then 21 Online obviously has some great content, but it's sometimes difficult to find and use. So we actually pull in that content for you as well. And so you have full use to all this content. All I have to do is click on the post that I want to use, download it, and go use it as I see fit on the platform that I want, right? So very, very easy to kind of always have something to go post. And then also in our marketing hub is what we call our real estate hot takes. So this is actively scrubbing the internet all the time, and it is looking for keywords around real estate, Century 21, and it's bringing those articles in. So I have all these different articles, and let's say that I find this one really interesting. I can go and read the full article. Once I like it, I can even copy the article, or I can just click one of these icons and go share it right to my account on any of those platforms. So now the other thing I can do is I could come click on the article, and I could actually copy. So I'm just going to highlight this whole article. So let's say I really like this article, okay? And I'm going to come back into my chat here. And Agent 21 is a full AI assistant who lives on here. So he is another layer of AI. He will answer questions for you. He will find anything for you. And then he also can help do certain tasks. So if you said, hey, I really want to post this, can you summarize this into a social post for me? And I give him that article, he's going to read that article and now create a social post, boom, just like that, based on the article that I just provided him. So just another way to kind of leverage AI, leverage content, leverage an article, and make it easy for you to have content to go post about. Okay. So that's our marketing hub. Now, inside our prospecting hub, what we've done here is for the most common ways agents are making money right now, we have created very specific kind of 3-step system, and the system essentially is the same regardless of which one of these prospecting lanes. Step 1 is we teach you how to find them. So we give you a step-by-step guide. And so this is going to take you through, in this case, how to find for sale by owners. Then we're going to give you all of our scripts. We have our phone, email, text message, and you can practice using our practice tool. And we give you content specific to each lane so you can actually rinse and repeat this. And it's exactly the same for every single one of these. So if you just want to get better at any of these lanes, we make it super easy for you to go and prospect. Now inside our training hub, very similar concept of trying to make sure we're just making you better and allowing you to leverage all the tools available to you. So with being in the Century 21 system, you have access to Moxie, but sometimes if we haven't been trained properly on Moxie, we may not think that it's actually that good or that it works. So what we've done is actually taken Moxie and done a ton of training around each piece of it. So we have Moxie Engage, Moxie Present, Moxie Websites, Moxie Impress. So for every single one of these, I can come into the training videos section. I can search for anything in particular I'm looking for, but we've done all these quick little training videos on tips and tricks inside of Moxie. And so in this case, this is for Moxie Engage, Moxie Presents, the same thing. So if I go to training videos, right, I can search, but I have all these different Moxie Present training videos. And so we've just tried to make this super easy for you to get better at Moxie because it is a really powerful system. You just have to know how to use it. We also do a lot of training around our script mastery. So we have prospecting scripts are all in here for you in audio and written form. We also have overcoming objections, right? So we have all the audio around overcoming an objection, all the different objections you may get, listing scripts, buyer scripts. It's all available to you inside of your training hub. We also take you through our buyer process and what we call the 6Ps. We take you through our listing process, which is our 7P system. And so you can actually go into any of these, get a video lesson, get scripts, right? So all of it's in here for you step by step. And so especially if you're newer or you're just trying to revamp your process or you're like, you know what, I'm going on listing appointments, but I'm not converting the way I should, it might be your process. So come through here and take through it. And you might just have a certain problem with the actual piece of the process, right? You might say, I'm fine on this, but I'm really struggling on how to price, right? Cool. We're going to give you a class on how do you actually help price a property. And so just in there for you to make it easy. And then, like I said earlier, we do train on DISC, VAK. So we'll take you through the different personality types. We'll take you through VAK and what it means, the key words here, the learning styles, how to communicate with those different individuals, the art of connection. We take you through all of this inside our training hub. Our services hub is just that if you need help, so if you're a broker or an agent and you need or want us to do your personal site or your brokerage site or build a landing page for you, build a Moxie presentation for you, build out email campaigns for you, that is something we do as an additional service. So you can come into this section and inquire about that. And if you're a brokerage and you're wanting some training, whether it's on Moxie, whether it's leadership, whether it's whatever you want, our brokerage, our active running brokerage has been around 33 years. We're the largest Century 21 office or brokerage in the state of Florida. So feel free to reach out. We're happy to share our expertise and we can do that training. We can even come to you or we can do it live via Zoom. So that's available as well. Our networking hub is just that. That's going to give you the ability to actually have community chats, refer deals back and forth, ask questions, get help, and communicate with agents all over. Agent directories, same thing. All of our agents that are members of the platform are all in there. You can connect with any of those agents and, again, share deals, share thoughts, share best practices. Our Gear Hub is just our store. And then inside your profile, this is important. So not only can you obviously manage your billing and all of that stuff, but inside of this, we have this section here. So everything that's in this platform is just done here inside of these hubs. But what I can do is I can actually come in and just favorite the ones that matter the most to me. So let's say of everything in this platform, you're like, yeah, all that's great. I really just need these 2 tools or this tool or these 4 tools or these 7 tools, whatever it is. You can come in and star them. And then all of those go under my favorites. And so now when I log into this platform and I'm sitting here at the agent portal, I don't need to go through everything. All I need to do is click on profile, come to my favorites, and all my favorite tools are right here and I can get to all my favorite tools just from right here. So it just makes it easy for you to kind of focus on the tools that matter the most to you. And then obviously, if you ever need support, you get support. So that is the platform in a nutshell. That is Empower AI. We're adding new features, new tools, new things all the time. We're constantly communicating with you. We want to empower you to do more business, to grow your business, and to live the lifestyles that you want to live. Hopefully that helps. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. Check out the individual videos below. And as always, if you have any more questions, let us know. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you inside the platform. Thanks.